Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Orange Power Podcast. We get a chance to have a lot of fun talking about the Oklahoma State Cowgirl women's tennis team. And we are joined by the head coach. That would be Chris Young. And Coach, it's good to have you here on the podcast.
Yeah, nice reason to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, obviously the season's going really well. Things are going well. We're going to be hosting Big 12s and NCAA championships, but also elevated to number one, right? First time ever. Just your thoughts on that and being ranked number one.
I mean, it's very surreal because it's something that you think about, you talk about, especially in the middle of the season, to kind of have this special moment, but then there's still a lot of season left. So to kind of be a national champion on a certain level, which within our sport, this indoor championship means a lot. It's very, very difficult to be able to navigate and do. It's very similar to winning the outdoor championship. So, we wanted to be able to celebrate it, but, we have a match coming up this weekend. So there really wasn't time for us to be able to enjoy it. At the same time, it's one of those things that you give yourself a little bit of pause at times and say, like, that really did happen, and it is happening. And this team is a lot of fun to work with.
It's interesting because I didn't even let my mind go there. And I guess the reason being, I go back to your national champion or your runner-up year when you guys were in the finals. You guys finished runner-up. You're ranked number 2, right? No, you ranked number 8. These rankings are a little bit different and odd how they shape out. So in my mind, I guess I didn't see you getting the computer ranking to get you there. But when you beat Texas, when you beat Stanford, when you beat Michigan, obviously that's what the computer said. Because this is not an opinion poll, right? This is a computer poll. So that's where you guys really should be.
Yeah, we have 6 top 10 wins right now. We have 8 in the top 15. When the polls came out, for this week, we have 2 wins over number 2 and a win over number 3. So it's something we haven't had this we've had this strength of schedule before, but to have these wins, I mean, 9 wins overall, 9-0, 8 wins over a top 15. That's pretty hard to do.
Let's talk about where we are right now. We're obviously in the Michael and Greenwood Tennis Center, and you think back about the Colvin Center. You and I have had so many conversations about that over the years, and to where you guys are now. And then even to fast forward to start this season against Michigan, right? This place was jam-packed. There, I literally was about 4 rows deep in standing room only, trying to see the courts. You started out with an incredible schedule. You navigated it. Your kids have answered it. Your fans have answered it. I mean, I know it's way too early to get too excited, right? But it's a good time to be part of Cowgirl tennis right now.
It is. I mean, everything is coming together. One of the things about us with the program now is always trying to build our fan base, and this doesn't hurt when you're winning. And when you have these big crowds for us to win on those big moments. So that's really special as well. But, this is for all those kids that rode in those vans with Coach Wadley and Julius and myself all those years to Ponca City or to Edmond or to Oklahoma City or Tulsa. If you would have said that we would win the indoor national championship 10 years ago, people would have laughed at that. So that's what I, say to the Greenwoods and people. I told the Greenwoods the other day, like when it happened, I said, can you imagine we just won the indoor title first? That's pretty special because for so long we didn't have anywhere to practice indoors, as you talked about, even the Colvin Center. So, that makes it really special. And now as the fans are growing, as there's so much anticipation around this season, it seems like that everything is building in the right way.
Talk about the indoor versus the outdoor. We always, you and I talk a lot. We have host a show together. There's a lot of things we talk. The conversation is the first NCAA championship on the women's side, right? Technically still no, right, though, because it's an ITA event. But, boy, you start thinking about the fact you're hosting and this team and how good it is. I mean, maybe?
Yeah, I think the good thing about it is now with our strength of schedule, we're going to be a top 8 team pretty much the entire season. And so that should allow us to host all the NCAA rounds, the postseason. So I think you could start from the Big 12 all the way to the end. Someone's going to have to beat us at home. And I think with our home record and success, that's something we're excited about.
It's probably a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When you think about the fact that you're number one, you just won the national championship in the ITA indoor. Now you get ready to go take on the number 24 team in the country at Arizona State, and then you get ready coming in here, Kansas, March 1st. How do you stay hungry? I mean, right, you haven't won the NCAAs, and that's very real and it's tangible and it's out there. But at the same time, there's no way kids aren't going, wow, this is pretty cool, and feel that great sense of accomplishment. So how do you keep them hungry?
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is this team is just really hungry. I mean, they're kind of saying all the right things already. But if I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times already. People say, well, now you've got the target on your back. So everybody's doing it for us. Everybody's letting these kids know, like, okay, now things are different. And everybody, like yesterday, we were kind of like talking about it with some of the kids, like, we get it. We get the target. I mean, like, you don't have to, another person doesn't need to tell us that the target is on our back. We're well aware of it. But, you know, I think that going into this season, you know, we were 5 in the country. We had a tough schedule. We've been right up there. I feel like the target's been on our back all season because there's been people that knew how good this team was. I think everybody in college tennis did. I don't think that it's going to change anything. I think we just can't let the success lead to complacency. And the best thing about it, in my opinion, is we're going on the road again this weekend, and we're going outside to a tough environment at Arizona State, and you don't give yourself a chance to. I think if we would have had a week off, I think that could have been a different factor.
Well, and again, the schedule's been so good, and you guys have had, you know, again, I know from a standpoint of you have accomplished a lot, but you haven't accomplished the ultimate goal, right? And, you know, some coaches, I hear that, I've heard it over the past, well, we've been in the top 5, been top 4, 3, whatever the case may be. John Smith, ranked number 2. We haven't done anything. We're not the hunted yet. Nobody has what we want yet, so we just go continue to do what you've done. The great thing is this roster, a lot of kids coming in. You look at Miyamoto, you look at Nas, Carrington, Novak. I mean, there's a lot of kids that have been very talented, very hungry, and this ultimately may be, and again, I don't know if you want to say this or not, this may be the most talented group you've ever had.
Yeah, I think I've hesitated to make a lot of comparisons because the 2016 team got to the finals, and you know, those girls are always kind of messaging me and talking about it. But even they're like, hey, there's more depth on this team. And I think that's the key, you know, is our depth. And to beat Stanford for the first time and to do it the way that we did, we won at the bottom of the lineup. And you beat Stanford with your depth, that's doing something because they get, you know, the pick of who they want all the time. And, you know, they had at number 5 singles, they had a freshman who just won the U.S. Open Junior Championships. And Miyamoto beats her to clinch the match. That's pretty special.
Well, and we've already seen some major special moments this season. We're going to see a whole lot more. Again, Kansas opened up to the Big 12 season, and you know, we talked about all the things that are going on. Before we let you get out of here, let's talk about the fact that you are hosting the championships. Big 12s, hopefully regionals, and you said obviously national championships. There's a whole lot of work that goes into that, and you guys are trying to make this a true event, a true spectacle. You had laid a lot of the groundwork in 2016 before all of that got pulled away from you, or in 2020, excuse me, when things got pulled away with COVID. How close are you now to getting this thing put together and really just being able to focus on tennis and not so much about the event?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that it's there's, you know, weekly meetings. There's things that are going to happen all the way up to it. I think we did lay a lot of the groundwork in 2020, and that helps us out a lot. But you know, we want this thing to be special, not only for our players, but for the visiting teams and then for our fans. We're working on a fan fest. Great thing is we have a lot of momentum right now with what our men's team did, beating number 5 USC over the weekend, with our girls winning the National Indoor Championships. We went live with ticket sales. We thought that's a pretty good time to do it. And so people can now go online and get their tickets. Right now it's just general admission, all session passes. We will have some VIP and some hospitality packages that will come online in a couple weeks, but we want people to get out there and fill this place up because that's what's going to give everyone a great experience, is a packed house watching these kids play.
Number 1 for the first time in program history. Congratulations. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Good stuff. And you get a chance to see the Cowgirls a lot. We're just really getting started, and the Big 12s haven't even begun. So it's going to be a fun year. Get out here and support the Oklahoma State Cowgirls and the Cowboys. That's going to do it for us. For Coach Chris Young, I'm Casey Kendrick. We'll see you next time on the Orange Power Podcast.